Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today we are talking about healthcare educational opportunities that are available here at Duke University's Fuqua School of Business. I am Kate Miller. I'm Executive Director of the Center for Health Sector Management, or otherwise known as HSM.
And I'm Patrick Peppera, graduated Rutgers University, studied healthcare management and economics, and started my healthcare career in Chicago, worked for Cigna and Express Scripts. Came to Fuqua specifically to expand my healthcare horizon past the payer and PBM space, and I've been able to do that so far through some of the classes here. This past summer, interned at BCG in Philadelphia, did some work in healthcare and private equity, enjoyed my time, and looking forward to going back. So that's just a little bit about myself and my time at Fuqua so far.
And Patrick is a second-year student here at Fuqua.
Yes.
And I'm going to give a little basic information about the format today. We'll start off and I'll give a basic overview of HSM, the Center for Health Sector Management. And then if you're watching live, we have opportunities for you to ask questions. Please use the Q&A button that's available to you on the webinar screen. And if you are watching a recording or if we don't get to your questions today, please remember that there's a lot of information about HSM and the Center for Health Sector Management on the Fuqua website. You can access our pages by going to centers.fuqua.duke.edu/HSM. And we are not part of the admissions team.
No.
So if you have any questions about the admissions process at Fuqua, then please send an email to admissions-info@fuqua.duke.edu. So my basic overview about the Center for Health Sector Management is that our mission really is to provide educational opportunities and thought leadership and access and alumni engagement opportunities to all students at Fuqua who are interested in healthcare. One aspect of those educational opportunities is the opportunity to earn the Health Sector Management Certificate, or the HSM Certificate, while you are getting the Duke MBA. We have about 20% of each incoming daytime class chooses to earn the HSM Certificate while they're getting their MBA here at Fuqua. And Patrick has made that decision, and as he said, he's a second-year student here, so he will hopefully be able to answer some of your questions and give you the student perspective. We will be watching the screen to see if anybody asks any questions about HSM or about the center. And another thing I wanted to mention was that besides the educational opportunities, we also have HSM Speaker Series events throughout the year, and those are available to all students as well at Fuqua. And so the main takeaway I want you to have today is that when you come to Fuqua, there's so many options available to you and so many opportunities to explore anything that you're interested in. And you can dive as deeply into those topic areas as you wish, or you can just maybe dip your toe into different learning opportunities through the centers here at Fuqua. And there are many different clubs at Fuqua that you can get involved in. There are just many different opportunities. But we are here to try to help provide you a good way to navigate all of those opportunities. And Patrick has gotten involved in many different clubs, yeah, and taken many different other courses besides health management courses. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely. So I can start off with the courses. So the HSM program certificate is very manageable. You are supposed to take, in addition to the 3 core classes, 4 electives. And I've actually already completed my electives already. So now the additional HSM classes I'm taking is actually just pure interest. So taking health provider strategy this term and also taking medical device next term. So really enjoyed all my healthcare classes so far, and like I said earlier, wanting to expand my horizon beyond payer and PBM, and so far I've been able to done that. In addition to that, clubs involvement, super big here at Fuqua, especially for second years, because we want to pay it back to the fellow alumni that were ahead of us. So some of the clubs I've been involved in, one is the healthcare club. So I'm the VP of admissions, and I typically talk to a number of prospective students, and also, organizations who want to get involved within the healthcare ecosystem here at Fuqua. In addition to that, I'm a member of the consulting club. I'm a second-year case coach, so I support first years with everything around casing and preparing for their consulting recruiting. I also am a member of the Business in Africa Club, supporting students that are coming directly from Africa in everything when it comes to academics and recruiting. So throughout the year, we host a number of workshops to support these students be successful. And lastly, I'm also a member of the Black Business Student Organization, and I help with all aspects of professional development. So working with several companies like Accenture, Deloitte, and a wide number of companies to host different events on campus for first year. So a ton of ways to get involved here, and a lot of second years, you'll be surprised, are involved in a wide range of things. So I'm not an anomaly, I'll say, for sure.
Right, and I'm glad that he mentioned that, because he did raise a good point. The second year students here, they take a lot of their time and energy to spend with first year students because they want you to be successful. And because, as Patrick mentioned, the recent alumni did the same for them, and they want to pass that on to the first year students. And so they are a great resource about class content, about the career search process. So all of that is available here at Fuqua to you through a good, strong second year class. He also mentioned all the different clubs and the courses that he's taken, and I hope that helps illustrate for all of you that really it is very manageable to achieve to complete all the requirements for the HSM certificate while you're getting your Duke MBA, and to be involved in lots of different clubs, and again to so you can help fulfill some of those interests that you have when you come to Fuqua. One of the questions that someone has asked is about experiential learning opportunities, and there are many different experiential learning opportunities at Fuqua that are available to all of our students, including the Duke MBA students, and some of those are health focused. We have a great relationship with the Duke University Health System, and many projects are available to students either through a specific course that's offered to MBA students here at Fuqua called the Duke University Health Experiential Learning Practicum course, or DoHelp is the acronym that we use. Another great opportunity is the Fuqua Client Consulting Practicum course that is also available to Duke MBA students, and its acronym is FCCP. So you can also look that up if you type in to your browser Fuqua FCCP, then you'll learn a lot of more information about the experiential learning opportunities that are available through that specific course. And there are about 40 different projects that are available through the FCC program. They just published some projects this year, just earlier this week, and 8 of those projects are health related. And so if you do one of those health related projects, then that counts as an elective towards the HSM certificate. So that's just one example how other courses that you may be interested in at Fuqua count as electives towards the Duke MBA. Patrick, another question. What did you consider other health-oriented career options originally, and what led you to healthcare consulting at the end?
Yeah, so I think for me coming to Fuqua, the whole idea was, like I said earlier, expand my horizon beyond payer and PBM. So I was looking for career options that will allow me to kind of, see the entire ecosystem through different types of projects. So one career option was healthcare investment banking, where you get to work across the entire ecosystem of healthcare on various deals. So that was very appealing to me. Talked to several alumni from the HSM program who are doing that right now, and they gave me a good grasp of what was going on in that field. But after talking to folks within healthcare consulting, I think for me, it just hit the nail on the head in terms of this is the place where I would get that variety that I'm looking for. Because at the end of the day, I want to be able to see all these different sectors of healthcare and kind of pick one and say, okay, this is where I found very interesting. So that was the goal and kind of what led me to consulting, really wanting to see variety and see what's out there within the healthcare ecosystem.
And someone else asked about the diversity of career goals for students who are on the HSM certificate. And let's see, what are the most popular sectors? Okay, so that's a good question. I can honestly say that there are not any more popular sectors. I think that, and I welcome Patrick's opinion on this as well, but I find that the students, they go into all different parts of the healthcare landscape. As we all know, the health sector is a bit fragmented, and we need strong leadership in all of those different subsectors of the healthcare sector. And we have students that go into the payer space, provider, policy, biotech and pharmaceutical space, or medical device space. And as Patrick just mentioned, a lot of students will go into health finance or health tech or healthcare consulting. And as he mentioned, it's a broad ecosystem, but that so many parts of it do touch on healthcare, and that's why coming to Fuqua, I think, is a great opportunity for you to really explore all of those different parts and the intersection between technology and finance and consulting.
Yeah, and to attest to that, I think I know at least 2 individuals in each sector. So I know people go into pharma, provider, payer. So I don't think there's any dominant field, I would say. I think it's pretty spread across pretty evenly, I would say. Yeah.
I would agree with that. Patrick, what is a common transformation you've observed in students from the time they enter the HSM program to when they graduate?
Yeah, first I would say gaining an international perspective. I think, a lot of us, I came in, learning only about the U.S. healthcare system from my past career, but coming to the HSM program, where I believe is it 40 or 50% of the students are international, so they bring in that international flavor too as well through the various class discussions that we have. And one of our core classes, the seminars, actually at the end of it, we have group presentations where each group presents on a particular country about their healthcare system. So now I believe I've gained like a better understanding of kind of health system, not just in the U.S., but also other parts of the world. In addition to that, too, I would say I think people come into the HSM program, it gives you a chance to really kind of build your network, not just within one particular sector of healthcare, but also across all the different sectors. So, people come in with specialization in medical device, pharma, and even we have surgeons in our class, medical doctors, the MD, MBA students. So you really get to network and meet people from a wide variety of spaces within healthcare. And I think, gaining that international perspective, but also getting a well-rounded network, I think is something that we gained from coming to Fuqua.
All right, you brought up a couple of really good points that I want to elaborate on. I think you will find that all the students at Fuqua talk about how much you learn from your peers, you learn from your classmates, as much as you do the faculty here at Fuqua. And he mentioned, the diversity that we have is, we do have a very diverse population at Fuqua, and a very diverse population of students who choose to earn the HSM certificate. In the first year class right now here at Fuqua, we have 16 different countries represented. And as Patrick mentioned, the faculty really do give all the students an opportunity to share their experiences, and the faculty are, they're very quick to say, this might be their understanding of how something happens in a certain country, how healthcare is operating in a certain country. But the faculty in many of the classes the health management classes, they will say, they will ask the question, okay, is there anybody from that country, and can you please share your experience? And Patrick also mentioned one of the presentation opportunities is to give students a more formal way of sharing their expertise and their knowledge about their own home country, or one of the countries where they have a citizenship, and how healthcare operates there, so that it can help expand the knowledge for all the students in the class. And again, about 20% of the daytime students are choosing to earn the HSM certificate. So you have a lot of knowledge in the room. We also, in that population, about 50% have a healthcare background, but then again, about 50% do not have a healthcare background. And they come to Fuqua wanting to learn more about the health sector and realizing that healthcare touches each one of us. And whether students go and work in the healthcare environment, healthcare is something that we all experience in our lives. The fragmented provider space that we have worldwide, and the pharmaceutical challenges worldwide that are needed, that our as our students become better leaders, those are the problems that they can address. And all of the students who come into the classroom, you are at Fuqua for a reason. Whether you have a strong strategy background or operations or maybe supply chain management, you all have skills and talents that you bring to the classroom. And it does not. I don't think, based on the feedback from the students, I don't think in any way do you feel like you are you're at a disadvantage because you don't have a healthcare background. That's something that you come to Fuqua to learn and to help strengthen all of that knowledge. Let's see. How expansive is the Alumni Network, and what are the services offered by the Career Services Center?
Wow.
So the Career Management Center is extensive here at Fuqua, and I'd love to hear your input on that.
I was going to say, what services are not offered? Because I believe they offer a lot, and not just the Career Management Center. So first, the Career Management Center, a couple of things when I was going through the recruitment process. First, bringing all these companies on campus to give presentations were super helpful. In addition to that, they have individuals within the CMC who are responsible for helping review your resume, your cover letters. So I use that services too as well. In addition to that, we have behavioral mock interviews that's hosted by the CMC within a group setting. So not only was I preparing for the case interview, I was also preparing for behaviorals, and that was also helpful. I joined multiple sessions to do that. And lastly, too, in addition to that, I think the Career Management Center does a great job of helping coordinate all the different events happening on campus. Because if you're a recruiting consultant, there's going to be so many things pulling you around, and they do a really good job kind of bringing everything together. But besides the CMC, the student body, I think, offers a lot of services when it comes to recruiting. So the Healthcare Club, which I'm the VP of admissions for, we have a cabinet position that is dedicated to hosting different workshops throughout the recruitment cycle called Lifeline. We do about 6 of these workshops, and they touch on different topics that has to do with recruitment. So if you're recruiting for provider, you might join one workshop and learn, how to navigate that process, or the payer or consultant too as well. So the Healthcare Club does that. But then you leave the Healthcare Club ecosystem, then you have different clubs such as the Consulting Club, the Provider Association Club, the Business in Africa Club, and all these clubs have recruiting components built into it. So you're going to have a lot of people coming at you to offer support, and it's up to you to really take it and use it.
Take advantage of those resources.
Yes, absolutely.
And all of those clubs, Team Fuqua is something that is definitely pervasive throughout this environment, this educational environment here at Fuqua. And all the clubs work really closely together they understand that there is an intersection that happens. For example, like the Healthcare Club will work with the Consulting Club to provide speaker opportunities, educational opportunities, or to help, again, in the coaching and career management advice. And they do work really well together, and there are lots of resources, as Patrick mentioned, with the CMC, or the Career Management Center here at Fuqua. We've had many students who've asked about the how different topics are discussed in classes, the health management classes here at Fuqua, and so I'd like to touch a little bit on that. It's hard to do that in a 30-minute time frame, but I'll do my best. And Patrick, I welcome you chime in at any moment. Someone had asked about digital health and like health tech. Those are all topics that do get covered in the classes, and the faculty here at Fuqua are really, I think, really good at hearing what students want to learn about and making adjustments to their curriculum so that they can better educate the students on the topics that are of particular interest while you're here at Fuqua. The health tech gets covered specifically. I know in digital health, there's a lot that gets covered in the HSM seminar class that Patrick mentioned earlier. The HSM seminar class takes place throughout your first year at Fuqua, but it's not. It's very manageable because that class is somewhat sprinkled in through each term, the fall 1, fall 2, spring 1, spring 2 terms. There'll be 3 class sessions in each of those terms. And that's an opportunity to have a deeper discussion with faculty about the topics that students are really interested in so that they can, it's called the HSM seminar class, and the faculty who teach the course do work with the students to find out what exactly the hot topics are, and digital health is definitely something that is discussed in the spring seminar class.
Yes.
I think one of our professors had a lot of sessions on digital health.
No, absolutely. I remember those lectures vividly. I believe Blake Long, Professor Blake Long, those were really great because I think for the first time I had the chance to really dive deep into healthcare tech, because I think we've been hearing, kind of AI, healthcare, telemedicine, and all of that. But that was the first time I actually got the chance to really go deep and see what some of these companies like Flatiron Health are doing out there and all these various examples. So that was really helpful. But also the cool thing about the seminar is it's kind of like a high level overview, and then the HSM electives, you get the chance to go even deeper. So with my health provider strategy class that I'm taking right now, we're going very deep into digital health, and that's a topic that I've been enjoying very much. So there is a lot of interest when it comes to healthcare tech in terms of on the academic side, but also on the recruiting side too as well. And
hopefully we've helped to communicate just the many different resources that are available at Fuqua, where it's the clubs, because there's a specifically about health tech, there's a tech club, and then we have the healthcare club. But again, they work together to help meet the needs of the students who are interested in an intersection between the two, as well as, and so that's on the student-facing side. But then again, for the career management side, there's a sector director for almost any sector that you can think of that you might want to go work in. There's a sector director at Fuqua who's available to help you navigate that search. So someone asked about our alumni network. Duke University has an extensive alumni network, and Fuqua also has an extensive alumni network. We have very active, involved alumni who come back to Fuqua. They come back to help educate as being guest speakers for the HSM speaker series, or perhaps for the health management courses that are available. All courses at Fuqua, there are alumni who will help contribute as faculty invite them to contribute in the classroom environment. And then the clubs will also rely on the alumni to help with conferences they might put on throughout the year. The Healthcare Club does put on an annual Duke Healthcare Conference, and it's very well attended. There'll be 250, 300 people at the conference each year, and our alumni give their time to come back and be a part of the conference, whether they're keynote speakers or as panelists. And so we're very grateful to the engagement from our alumni, because it's one of the real strengths about Fuqua and Duke University is the importance that our alumni places on coming back and serving as resources. Yeah,
and they play a huge role in the recruiting aspect too as well. The Healthcare Club, we have something like I discussed earlier called the Lifeline workshops, but we have something before the workshop called the Symposium, where we get to bring in HSM alumni from various healthcare sectors to come on campus kind of in an informal way to, get the chance to meet with these first years during their first month on campus. So we really start to build those connections, and throughout the recruitment process, they play a huge role in it. When I was going through it, I felt like Fuqua alumni were really there kind of trying to pull me in to the firm that I ended up in. So they're really expensive and very helpful in the process.
And another student wanted to know what were some of your favorite HSM classes?
Oh, yeah. So I'll start off with biotech and pharma strategy. I think a lot of HSM students are going to say the same thing. So that class I really enjoyed because it was my first introduction to the pharma and biotech world. And it was a class that did a great job in terms of combining lecture, but also discussion based. So a lot of the discussions were in class, hearing from different students who had the pharma background. But we also had the former CEO of Roche in class with us every single lecture. And he was bringing in that real world, executive level experiences into the classroom discussion. Some of these discussions that, the professor himself might not necessarily have the answers, the former CEO will step in and provide those experiences and answers for us. So I really enjoyed that class. Second one, I would say healthcare markets. Took it with a very young and upcoming professor here at Fuqua, really enthusiastic. It was really a joy to attend his classes. Learned a lot in terms of the lecture, but also a lot of life lessons too as well, both in healthcare and in life in general. So healthcare markets, and biotech and pharma strategy, I'll say the two that I've enjoyed so far. But medical device might blow that out of the way because I'm taking that next term and I've heard a lot of good things about that too.
Yes, and Patrick, fulfilled all the requirements to earn the HSM certificate last year. But I love hearing about how he continues to take some of those courses just because he wants to learn more about other parts of the health sector.
Absolutely.
And then we have a couple more minutes. Patrick, someone asked, what surprised you most about your experience with HSM that you did not expect when entering Fuqua?
I think what surprised me the most, I guess I didn't realize a lot of my close friends were going to end up coming from the HSM space, actually. And I think that started with the mid-July boot camp that we had, because we had the chance to meet each other before the full Fuqua class came on campus. So we already started establishing those relationships. However, when I was going through the recruitment process, I felt like the HSM students were right there to support me through everything that I needed, not just my first year colleagues, but also the second years. They were actually very instrumental in the reason why I wanted to give back, join the healthcare club and all of that. So I think the close-knit in terms of the community is one thing that surprised me, I would say.
And Patrick, we only have a couple more minutes left. I'm going to try to touch on a couple of things that I saw in the Q&A box. He mentioned the HSM Bootcamp course that does take place in July. It's the first course that's required to earn the HSM certificate. That course is it happens the week before Fuqua orientation, and as he mentioned, it's a great way to just meet another network, a cohort of students who are really interested in healthcare and talking about healthcare. At Fuqua, you will become part of the whole Team Fuqua environment. You will be part of a certain section of students that you'll take a lot of your core classes with, and so you'll have different networks of students that you'll be able to develop these relationships with that he was touching on, and develop these friendships with, and who will be a great network for you as you enter the alumni world at for Fuqua. And but you'll have your sections, you have the HSM network, and then you will have lots of different smaller teams that you work with, and the different clubs that you can become a part of. So one of the final key takeaways that I hope we have conveyed to you is that whatever you are interested in at Fuqua, there are many different opportunities and experiences that you can have, and it's really up to you how deeply you dive into those opportunities and what you want to touch on. But we have lots of resources here just to help you fulfill those goals.
Absolutely.
And again, if you have any other questions, please go to the website centers.fuqua.duke.edu/HSM. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yes.
Let's see, one more question was, I think we might have time for one more. It said about boot camp and how does that work? So hopefully I just answered that question, in that it takes place the week before orientation.
Yes.
So thank you very much for joining us.